And welcome to episode 83 of the Squeeze Baseball Podcast. Today's February 2nd, 2022.
The groundhog saw his fucking shadow.
He saw his entire shadow, and we are caught in a blizzard in the town of St. Louis. Really, the entire Midwest right now, kind of just balls deep in some snow. So that's cold. My name is Tyler, and with me, I have Michael Langston back in the chair, the virtual chair, not in person. Thanks, Blizzard.
It's not COVID that's keeping us away. It's the fact that snow has decided to be an asshole.
Yeah, we're snowed in, man. We're all bunkered in. But today we got some negotiation news. We have some congratulatory words for guys who deserve them. We have a word on the Hall of Fame. Most importantly, we have our all-time baseball movie character draft,
which we just decided to do.
Yeah. And then some free agency predictions. What do you think, Michael?
I'm thinking before we jump into everything, Tyler, you and I should give a little life update, what we've been up to. The last time we recorded was right around Thanksgiving. It's been a little while.
Oh man, it's been a minute. Life caught up with us. The holiday season happened, and we were a little strapped for time, which isn't great when you cover baseball news. But thankfully, baseball has made it really easy for us. There hasn't been any fucking news, Michael, because we're locked out.
It's been a detox. We've really been focusing a lot of our attention on Hatties and Homers during most of this time, and it hasn't even necessarily been with recording. It's just been the producing of a lot of different things because there's been basketball and hockey going on. Football season just wrapped up. I'm sad that the Chiefs are out, but I'm more, Joe Burrow's easy to root for in the Super Bowl, so I'm happy with that. But yeah, life caught up to us, man. We are all busy. Tyler, you've got exciting things going on in your life. And I don't know what's exciting about my life. I got a girlfriend. I guess that's exciting.
Oh man, Michael's romantic life is so much more exciting than the last time we met. So there's that. That's huge. Michael's constantly making big life moves, jobs.
I bought a Funko Pop.
He bought a Funko Pop. I just copped one, bro. What did you get?
Let's see. We got them right here. I picked this bad boy up from GameStop. I got Jurgen Klopp, who's the manager of Liverpool, which is my favorite soccer team. So I got him, which is fucking awesome. And then right next to him, I have this little bad boy. I bought you one of these for Christmas, but I liked it so much I had to buy one for myself. Babe Ruth.
The Babe calling his shot. I love that one. I just copped. I don't know if you were aware. I'm a bit of a fan of, the quirkiness of minor league ball.
Of course.
Picked up an Everett Aqua Sox. Whatever this guy is. Webley? Oh.
No fucking way. It's the mascot.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. And
it's so cool.
Their stadium is Funko Field. I believe it's owned by Funko.
No shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's actually really cool.
And then I think I copped a Josh Bell because it was like $4 too. But I don't know.
It's probably him with the fucking Pirates.
It was him with the Pirates. I think it was their giveaway Funko.
Fuck yeah.
Good times. I just signed on a new apartment, so I will have more space, which is cool.
Hell yes. And
Michael can come and have sleepovers, and we can drink hot chocolate and
vodka and
finger paint,
taquitos,
tequila. Have a little studio set up. Oh my God, we'll be like Mike and Mike, but younger.
Michael and Tyler.
Michael and Myler.
Yeah,
something like that.
So, and personal news. So Tyler's moving. That is awesome. Tyler's making big boy purchases out here. Tyler, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if we covered this in the last episode. We probably did. You're back at Play It Again. So you're helping.
I am.
You're doing badass things over there. I will be going back to the Cardinals. So
going back to the Birds.
We'll same role as before, year numero cuatro. So we'll just see kind of what goes on from there.
The boy is back in the booth.
Yeah, but I've there hasn't been a lot of things that I've been able to be keyed in on right now, just because of the fact we're in a lockout. So, we'll see what happens.
We shall see. But Michael, back to your regularly scheduled programming. Today's edition of Congratulations, you
You did
did
something.
something. Considering we're remote, I think we did a phenomenal job syncing it up that time. Congratulations.
Thank you. You did fantastic as well.
Thank you. Michael, there was quite a bit of news to cover. We're not going to cover all of it, but there are some things of note worth congratulating. Taking a look at the year of 2021 in baseball, we had some comeback players of the year, and these guys, truly two amazing stories for both of them. In the National League, the veteran backstop Buster Posey, happy National Catchers Day. That's a thing I learned because I make social media posts for a retail store. Buster Posey, he missed the year 2020, the COVID year. Recently had acquired. I said acquired like it's a player. He got a kid. He adopted a child and wanted to. I went a bad route with that one, but he just wanted to focus on the safety of his kids, spend some time with his family, and then he comes back in the year 2021 and has one hell of a year. He plays most of the year, caught a lot of games for a 107 win Giants team, and then decide to hang it up. And I respect that. Comeback player of the year in the National League, Buster Posey. And then Michael.
I mean, he had a 3.5 WAR, and you got to congratulate the guy for retiring in the first place with that career that he had. MVP, 3-time world champion, all-star, all the good shit. Fucking, you know what? For all the years that I hated Buster Posey because everyone said Yadier Molina was worse than him, good career. Respect.
Congrats on a career.
Respect with the word, with the letter 2.
Absolutely.
Because that's how we do it in baseball.
And then an 8 in there somewhere for his 28. Yeah, congrats, Buster. And then this one, a guy we've talked about considerably on the squeeze, truly a feel-good story. Trey Mancini wins comeback player of the year for the American League in the year 2021. Coming back.
Fuck cancer.
Yeah, fuck cancer. Guy comes back from beating cancer and has an excellent year for, not the greatest of teams, but he was certainly one of the brightest spots along with Mr. Cedric Mullins. Congrats to Mr. Trey Mancini.
That shit was popping. And then, you know what? I'm excited for what the Orioles can do. Mancini as your comeback player. Cedric Mullins absolutely fucking killed it this year. John Means with the no-hitter. I'm very excited for what the Baltimore Orioles are going to do. And I got to visit Camden Yards this year, or last year, and it was a lot of fun. And they've got a great ballpark. If they could just, fill it up more, maybe I could have gone a little bit more into the ballpark, but they closed off certain sections because they can't draw fans, which is sad.
They added some funky dimensions in the outfield.
They did that too. What the fuck is that?
I like it. It's quirky. We're closer and closer to Adley Rutschman, the shining star who's going to save the Orioles from the trenches of the American League East. Yeah, there are things going on in Baltimore. So, congratulations, you did something.
Yeah.
Where Keith Hernandez is getting his number retired by the Mets. That's exciting in Mets land, in Queens land.
Yeah, you know what? I think this might have been a Steve Cohen move. Just because, the previous owners did not want to do anything surrounding that. But, one of the best first basemen in baseball history, one of the most underrated players, I think, in baseball history, because you don't see a lot of good defensive first basemen who are defensive first. And it feels really good. He won a World Series for them, won a World Series with the Cardinals. and he's been on that broadcast team forever in Queens. It just feels so damn good to finally see that he's getting some sort of recognition. Um, and I've met him. He's a good guy. So really excited that he gets this opportunity. And good on Steve Cohen. And I saw Steve Cohen in a weird movie. And Tyler, we were talking about this beforehand. Steve Cohen is in the fucking GameStop documentary on the GameStop issue that happened last year because his hedge fund got fucked.
That's that's fucking wild. And additionally, as wild and fitting for today, considering we're doing the all-time baseball movie character draft, there is a really, really shitty baseball movie that I mentioned to Michael not too long ago called Bottom of the Ninth. And it's got Brian Wilson. It's got Joe Manganiello and Sofia Vergara. He's like a down on his luck baseball player. I don't know, weird movie. Fucking Brian Cashman pops up in it. Brian Cashman.
No shit.
He popped I along with Bernie Williams. Literally out of nowhere in this piece of shit like B level movie. Brian Cashman of all people. I don't know. Crazy world we live in. Oh man, Michael, also fitting for today. Wow, it's almost like we planned it like this. Ha ha ha. Today is National Girls and Women in Sports Day.
Yes, it is.
Michael, tell me about this next point.
Oh, yo, so the New York Yankees, New
Yeah.
Yorkers, they
Yeah.
made a historic hire. They hired Ray. That sounds more like Christopher Walken than it does a New Yorker.
Yeah, you had me in the first half, but
Not gonna lie, but Rachel Balcovec or Balcovec, however you want to pronounce it, Balcovec is the it, hold on, I just got a fucking text that popped up and it distracted me. Rachel Balcovec is the first female manager in professional baseball history in the United States. She will manage the Tampa Tarpons, the low A affiliate of the Yankees. She had previously been a coach in that system. She went and played softball at New Mexico, had coached a little bit all over the place. She has a master's degree. Really exciting and super proud of the progress being made in baseball.
a lot of these things are so long overdue. And, in 2020, 21, 22, we are finally getting to the point where we are seeing more female coaches and managers and front office staff in baseball, whether it is Rachel or Kim Eng. There's female representation at the major league level with the Giants, and we're starting to see it all across baseball now and all across sports, but we're still a long way away. But I mean, this is a huge move. Good, excellent move on my Yankees. And again, all the girls who haven't gotten the opportunities or haven't gotten the interviews that they rightfully deserved. This is a huge first step. So excellent. This is very much so a congratulations. You did something.
Good on baseball. Tyler even wrote a whole paper. Now, to say that there is issues across all of sports with a ton of different issues is putting it lightly, because there are, and we're seeing it right now at the NFL and the lawsuit being brought by Flores, who was a former coach of the Miami Dolphins. But Tyler even wrote a paper about how people didn't get opportunities in youth sports with baseball, and with girls, there's just not a lot of opportunities, and it's so fucking good to see this kind of shit. But now, also, Tyler, we need to congratulate John Lester on announcing his retirement. There are a couple other guys that did it too. I think Francisco Liriano. But good on a couple of these guys who've had fruitful careers. John Lester, definitely a Hall of Fame case to be made. 200 career wins. Postseason savant, could kick ass any day of the week in the postseason. So congratulations to him for a really great career, and he definitely is going to get Hall of Fame consideration.
Yeah, no, the big lefty had such a career. He was marvelous in the postseason with the Red Sox, with the Cubs. Geez, I mean, even with the A's, I mean, he pitched in that wild card game, right? I think. Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah,
that sounds about right. Yeah, no, absolutely one hell of a career. And another guy who beat cancer too. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
he
Yeah,
did beat cancer.
to come back and have, I mean, an excellent career. So yeah, we tip our caps. Tip our caps. More congratulatory statements regarding Red Sox players. Michael, take this point. I will be back momentarily.
Yeah, so here's what we got with the Hall of Fame induction with our committee votes right off the bat. The early days committee the early days committee selected two players from the Negro Leagues for the Hall of Fame. Buck O'Neil, one of the greatest ambassadors of the game of baseball. I would dare to say to call him Mr. Negro Leaguer because of how much he did to tell the story of the Negro Leagues, of black baseball from the era that he played in the 30s and 40s. And the stars that he played with, guys such as Satchel Paige, Jackie Robinson, how much he did for the game of baseball. Buck O'Neil, it should have happened when he was alive. He passed away in 2006. But Buck O'Neil finally getting into the Hall of Fame, it just feels so right, and it feels like a true vindication and a correction of the wrong of some of baseball's history to have the guy who exemplified the spirit of the Negro Leagues and the spirit of trying to grow the game of baseball across the country and across the world. It feels so good that Buck O'Neil made it in. You also had Bud Fowler make it in from the early days committee, also a Negro Leaguer. And then from the Golden Era committee, you had Gil Hodges, Minnie Minoso, Jim Catt, and Tony Oliva. And then I think it's Catt and Tony are both having their numbers retired by the Twins. Both of them are twins. And then Hodges was long overdue. There's a couple other guys in that committee vote that I wish could have got in instead. A guy like Kurt Flood, a guy such as Roger Maris. But Gil Hodges does get in, and these other guys get in too, so it's big for them. And then there's only one guy. We'll talk about this more. What the fuck is this shit? One guy barely makes it in by the skin of his teeth on the writer's ballot, and that is Big Papi himself, the guy who hit 700 in a World Series, David Ortiz.
So, well, I mean, it's impossible to look at a guy like Big Papi and the career he had and say that guy's not a Hall of Famer. And again, we will touch on it more later in the show. But for
Yeah,
all
23% of the writers said no, and they can go suck my left nut.
it's asinine, and the entire really the entire process is. But again, we'll touch on that more. But the biggest congratulations possible to Big Papi, an amazing all-time Hall of Fame player, possibly even a better person. The biggest congratulations, and this one should be a surprise to no one, but Shohei Ohtani, the reigning MVP, is the MLB The Show 2022 cover athlete. That is awesome, and I mean, there are historic all-time seasons, and then there's what he did, which hasn't really been done before to this level. So of course he was going to be the cover athlete, and even cooler, the Ultimate Edition, the MVP edition, mind you. I think that's at the $100 price point. Has this fucking sick manga cover designed by Tako Shiokazaki, who is the creator of Afro Samurai. Just a fun fact there.
I'm so fucking hyped to get that. I'm so fucking hyped to get that. Oh my god, this could be fucking great.
Yeah,
and I think I have an Ohtani jersey downstairs, and I should have worn it for this. Fucking fuck.
I dumped an unhealthy amount of hours probably into the show 21, and I mean the God Squad is maxed out. There's really no one else I can get, so I'm ready for 22, and I'm ready to hand out some L's at any given point in time.
Have I ever told the story on this show of when people actually handed out physical L's?
Please do.
Okay, so I say this because I just did my last basketball game as PA announcer for my high school. So kind of a sad moment because it's my favorite sport to call. But we were playing our arch rivals one year, and a friend of mine who was still in high school at the time, I had since graduated. We were playing our arch rivals, Brentwood, and he printed out sheets of just the letter L in like Times New Roman. and it was really good. It was just stacked, like a pretty big stack of L's. And so we won the game. We beat them. And after we won the game, they went over to the visiting stands, and they just said, "Here you go." And they started handing out the L's, and everyone got like their team got really mad about it, like ungodly mad about it. And
Sucks to suck.
yeah, it's not our fault that you can't fucking hit a 3-pointer.
Handed out physical L's. I mean, that's a dream of mine. I mean, that's something I've always actually wanted to do. And those suckers did it.
Yeah, we did that. And then at a baseball game to troll the other team, everyone in the stands had a T-shirt with the phone number of one of the players on the other team.
What?
And then I think someone had the phone number for one of the other players' moms.
Damn. Wow. That's intense.
We did not care.
We do not Oh, wow. Okay. Maplewood Richmond Heights gets down like that. Wowie. Michael, that is going to wrap it up for congratulations. You did something. Congratulations, you, Michael, on having such a thick ass. I don't know. I don't really know where
I do have a thick butt. Yeah. I got a thick butt, and it do not lie. Sir, I'm trying to sneak around, but the clapping of my ass cheeks keeps alerting the guards.
Double cheeked up on a Wednesday. That is Michael Langston. That was congratulations. You did something.
I got that Invisalign too.
Oh yeah, I mean this kid's fucking gorgeous over here. I'm trying to get like Michael. I'm
trying to work out too to start the year. I got a workout bench. It's right there. This is my workout bench.
Oh, nice.
And I got it and I built it myself, and I've been trying to work out, but I keep hurting new muscles. So like that sucks.
Ooh, so, you getting in that chest work?
Yeah, you know who I want to look like? You know what I want my biceps to look like? I want my biceps to look like Shohei's when he was in that workout shirt. You know what I'm talking about?
Jeez, yeah. Do I know what you're talking about? Of course, that's a legendary picture. God, he's so thick.
Shohei's got tanks, and I want tanks.
Oh, me too.
I need to figure out how to do that, but I'm not 100% sure. I've started doing protein shakes. Some
creatine, up that bicep work. You got the bench. Get some chest work in. You're gonna be huge in no time. Imagine Michael, but jacked. Oh wow!
These are man titties. These aren't actual pecs.
Magnificent chest there, son.
Boom, boom,
boom. Michael, it is time for today's episode of
Yankees win.
Yankees win.
It also, if you misread that, it could also be interpreted as with SpongeBob.
Oh my God, is Tom Kenny here? No, we can't afford Tom
Kenny. We don't want to get sued by Universal again.
Yeah, please.
Yo, they came after us before when we posted G-Man Choi celebrating in the dugout after the Rays won the pennant.
Yeah, that one sucked.
That was stupid.
There was music playing in the background of a video that I downloaded off the internet.
And you could barely hear it.
Yeah, didn't love that one. Did not love that one. But we are, this is the lockout edition of the news. We are balls deep in a lockout, and hasn't been a ton of progress made. The two sides are talking again, those sides being the league and the Players Association. But Major League Baseball has, again, at this point in time, held some negotiating sessions with the Players Association in Texas and New York. But we're still in this lockout, and the time in which we are supposed to be starting baseball is fast approaching. Proposals are being floated around. They're looking at a lot of the financials at the moment, but also what to do with expanded playoffs, the possibility of continuing with that wild card round. The meetings have been short. They met recently to discuss a lot of the ARB numbers and the pool money, and there hasn't been a lot of steadfast, hard decisions made. The two sides seem pretty far off. Michael's the negotiation guy, so he will elaborate further than I will.
Uh, there was an update today from, I believe it was Heyman or Bob Nightingale. No, it was Heyman. I'm going to quote him directly because I don't want to say something that might be misconstrued. Player leaders Max Scherzer and Andrew Miller, and that's true. Scherzer and Miller are the two big players in the MLBPA. On a recent call with MLB, spoke pointedly about their unhappiness with Major League Baseball's offers, hitting on competitive integrity, service time manipulation, franchise values, and more. Might their unvarnished honesty trigger action? And everything that we've seen with the MLB and the unions, everything that has been posted from Heyman, from Passan, from Rosenthal, their players are pissed. That's essentially what we said. Players are pissed at the MLB. The MLB isn't doing a lot. And we've heard there have been a lot of talking heads with opinions on this issue. A guy here in St. Louis, Kevin Wheeler, who I've been able to work with, he said over air that, Manfred is a former lawyer for the MLB. And he's not like a Bud Selig. He's not like a Giamatti. He's gonna do everything he can to beat you. And so right now we're in a state where everyone is saying that spring training will be delayed because of this. And
it's inevitable at this point. I mean, the days in which spring training would have to start and how much time guys would need to get ready for opening day, March 31st, it's getting pretty close to not doable. I mean, pitchers and catchers would be reporting very soon.
I see a couple solutions to this, and I've seen a bunch of different ones proposed. Now, I wish I had direct sources for them. I don't, because it's been a while since I've seen them. I think the idea of a lockout is helping move things along. There is a sense of urgency from both sides because there is a lockout. But you could stay on the same track and delay the season and just have more doubleheaders and do them under the old system of 7 innings, which that's going to piss a couple people off because they already didn't like the 7-inning doubleheaders. You would push the season back and it would go into early to mid-November, which, what happens, hypothetically, what happens if Seattle or Toronto or Minnesota makes the playoffs, or New York in these cold areas, Boston? That's going to be really fucking bad in November when it's down in the 30s. Or, you just start eating games and you don't get a full 162 in. And I think baseball, looking at the revenue streams that they're going to need, because this is a business, you are going to need a full 162. No, I'm not going to say which I think they're going to go with. Do I think there is a giant sense of urgency here? There is, but I don't know how that's going to push anybody. I don't know if that's going to push anybody soon. It's when you start, I think Kevin Wheeler on KMOX may have said it best. When you start losing revenue, that's when everyone's going to get their shit in order.
That's a motivating factor, and especially to the owners whose eyes on the bottom line, that's a massive contributing factor. And that is, unfortunately, probably the catalyst that we'll need to really speed things along. But again, there's just the lack of progress is somewhat astounding. Again, I mean, they met the other day in a 90-minute meeting. Again, after, that over the holiday, there was a good couple week period where they didn't talk at all, allegedly. And then they're meeting, essentially once a week at this point. And they're making progress on the service time manipulation, the pre-arb bonus pool, but the numbers are still far off from what the players want and what the owners are willing to. I mean, I think I remember on that pre-arb number, players were initially around 105 million, and the owners countered with somewhere in the ballpark of 15 to 20. I mean, it's the lack of progress is not an excellent sign for us starting anywhere near on time. Not just a couple weeks off, but I mean, we're not where we should be.
I am. It does hurt the game because you had a shortened season in 2020 because of an issue such as this. You couldn't get your shit together, and you had that happen where you only played 60 games when the NFL played a full season. NASCAR beat you back. NASCAR got their shit together, and they had an almost entirely full season in 2020. The NHL was able to play a pretty good length season. So was the NBA. So what the hell? You have that happening. You have 2021, which is a full season, but you don't have full ballparks for the whole year. And there are places that, such as New York, where it was still pretty strict. You couldn't get in unless you had your COVID vaccine or you had a negative test. And to think in 2 of the past 3 years, actually all 3 years, you're not going to have full ballparks for a full 162. That's got to hurt your revenue. And then also that's going to hurt the people who rely on you as a source of income. Now, you have full-time front office people, and most of those people are probably going to be okay. You've anticipated for something like this. I'm talking about the game day workers. A lot of those guys are retirees who they use that to supplement their basic income. And they save that up over the season. In the off season, they use it. And then when they get back, they use it, they build it back up again. College kids, what about the extra security that you're going to have to hire, your food vendors? Those people get paid during the season. And so it's not, it sounds kind of selfish on my end to talk about, like, what about us? Because this argument is between them. But it is affecting a lot more people. And I think we know that because in 94, they pretty much said, like, yeah, we get it. We understand that you guys are in this and we're fighting to figure it out so that way you can get back to work too.
Yeah, there's nothing selfish about it, whether it's the retail worker working in the team shop or the concessions workers who, this is a good 3 to 4 months of pay that they could be missing out on. If they're not working in the stadium, the people working the parking garages around the stadium. This has much deeper ramifications than a lot of people want to, let in on. It's just concerning. It really is. And again, not that we want to buy into the baseball is dying narrative because it's not true. But I mean, with exciting NBA playoffs and the, obviously NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl coming up right now, we do need more fans to the game, and this isn't going to help grow the game that is doing so well right now. I mean, viewership numbers are wonderful. The World Series last year did extremely well, and the Sotos and Otanis and Tatises are as popular as they should be, or not even as popular as they should be. But if the game isn't played, that's not going to fucking help anything.
Exactly, and it's the I think Giraffe Neck Mark said something about it to the extent of I'm watching the game for the players that currently play it. So there are people out there who aren't like you and I, Tyler, who, if there's a baseball game on, it doesn't matter who's playing, we can sit down and watch and understand and actually come to appreciate it, because to us, baseball is the game. And we can understand that there are different players. But for a general kind of basic baseball fan, you're going to a game and you want to see Ohtani, you want to see Soto. If you're a Cardinal fan, you go to see Yadier Molina, Adam Wainwright, Harrison Bader, guys like that, Dylan Carlson, Nolan Arenado. You're going for the current players. You're not going just to see the team. If you are someone who doesn't normally, or if you're a fan of a team from another town, yeah, you might watch to come see, like the Red Sox come in if you're in San Diego or something, and the Red Sox are coming to play the Padres. You might watch that. But overall, it's just, it hurts. It doesn't necessarily. It's not good for the game, and I am against the narrative that baseball is dying. I think the narrative that baseball is dying is a narrative itself that needs to die. At the same time, it's got a point. It's got a fucking point with this kind of shit. That the game isn't dying, but people are sick and tired of this kind of thing. Because hockey, it's another thing. Hockey's had lockouts before, and it's been really bad. But I'll tell you what, I get to sit down now. I've got a full NHL schedule I get to watch this year. With the NBA, if I actually have been watching a couple games. I haven't watched the NBA seriously ever. I've watched a couple games. I watched Dallas the other night was playing. I've watched a couple Knicks games. I don't know why. That's just torture.
Yeah,
but
it's exciting. Every team's got somebody you want to watch.
And I've been watching or listening to football every Sunday.
Right. You have reasons to watch every major sport right now, and audiences are loving it. And if those are going on actively and baseball isn't, people are gonna find other shit to watch. I mean, shit. Look at John Boy made cricket popular in the U.S. for a second. People are dying for shit to watch, and they're gonna find it elsewhere if baseball doesn't happen. And it's just not something that needs to be done.
If you think for a second that these teams in markets that have other teams in them are going, like the Dodgers are the Dodgers, okay? They have a stranglehold on LA. There is no doubt about it in my mind that the Dodgers are going to be okay. Same with the Yankees. But let's talk about the other teams in those markets. The Mets. Now, we love the Mets because they're a bunch of derps. But do you think that someone who is a casual fan of sports is going to go watch the Mets right after this? Fuck no. They're going to go to Madison Square Garden. They're going to go see the Brooklyn Nets with with no fucking Irving because he thinks there's a bunch of conspiracy theories about the fucking vaccine. But you've got other things you can spend your entertainment dollar on. If you think Anaheim is going to be okay post this, even with Trout and Ohtani, you've got a lot of other options just in Anaheim alone to spend your money on. You don't have to go to a Ducks game because they're fucking terrible. But if you want, you can go to Disneyland. It's right there. You've got a ton of other options in the LA area that you're ready to spend your entertainment dollar on. And I think Urinating Tree put it best when he said that these teams in these big markets, they need to establish themselves right away or else shit's going to hit the fan. And you're going to see that with baseball. If you don't have baseball back, well, guess what? The money that would have gone to go see a Yankee game, they're not going to hold on to that and wait to go to another Yankee game or another Mets game or another Angels game. They're going to take that and they're going to go see the fucking Lakers. They're going to go see the Clippers. You're going to go to I don't know why the hell you do it, but you're going to go and maybe put down a deposit to go watch the Jets, which if you are putting down a deposit for New York's Jets tickets, you need a therapist.
You need a therapist, or your name is Gary V. Yeah, I mean, look, there are plenty of other entertainment options. And again, we don't need to worry about the in-market fans of a given team not watching their team. Because if you're a baseball fan in a given market, you're probably going to watch your team. But those marquee Sunday night baseball matchups that, for football or basketball, people are going to tune in no matter whether it's their team or not. They're going to watch just because it's an important matchup. Going to lose people who could be watching that Sunday night baseball matchup, Dodgers, Giants, Yankees, Red Sox, Cardinals, Cubs. You're going to lose people who are interested in that, because if they're not hearing about the game, it's not on the top of their radar. And they're not going to tune in, and viewership numbers that have been increasing and again, should be on the rise. They're going to hit a plateau, and they're going to decrease. And that's not what we need for America's pastime. So that is essentially where we're at right now with the lockout. We wish there was more info or progress for you, but there's not.
Now, can I go back to another point real quick? Because this does lead into something else that we have on the news. And this part could also go on what the fuck is this shit? So this is like a combination here. Part of the problem here is that MLB is a bad guy. If we look to the fans, if you look at what the fans are saying, the league is the bad guy. And The league knows that, and Manfred doesn't give a shit. The problem is, Rob Manfred is looking at this as a business standpoint only. He's not looking at this necessarily maybe from a fan experience only. The fans are the ones who are going to drive this. And if the league itself is not doing things the way that the fans like it, it's going to drive down the care. And part of the problem that we've seen with the league, this was a problem that we saw in the steroid era with guys like Sosa and all of that. It's with the congressional hearings that we saw. Also, this was something that we saw that came out recently during the pandemic. MLB used two different baseballs and hid it from everyone. That you can't do that. We've already had issues with the balls in the game and people getting pissed about them.
Yeah, the ball issues are nothing new in the last couple of years, and we've been dealing with this and hiding it from the fans and the players who are affected by it, especially, is just an odd move to make. And again, whether you look at the issues surrounding foreign substances and what type of tackiness is or is not allowed on the ball, or the home run surge of 18 and 19 and trying to curb that and using a different ball in the playoffs versus the one you use in the regular season, it develops a strong lack of trust between fans and the league. And again, that's not always going to exist between your fan base and the league office, but holy shit, the league doesn't look great right now.
No, there have been problems before, issues with the balls in play, which actually I play Wordle now, and I practice on another Wordle Unlimited app, and one of the words that I got was balls, and I think it was hilarious. But we've had issues before in other sports with balls. Deflategate. And you know what the league did? They came out and did something about it. Now, people were pissed, and it didn't seem like it was what ended up happened was definitely a controversy with Tom Brady. But something fucking happened. Like, they did something about it.
Major League Baseball is not only walking around with their dick in their hands right now. They decided to crack down on it midway through last season in 2021, which is odd timing to go ahead and address something like that. It certainly could have been something that led to guys pitching differently throughout the year, or could have led to injuries, and that's something like a guy like Tyler Glasnow led on to. Is he always put something on it. He wasn't necessarily using the Garrett Cole spider tack, but he needed a little something, and that affected how his body and his muscles enacted force upon a baseball in order to spin it. And that kind of change for a major league pro athlete who is so fine-tuned is fucking stupid. And again, to the fans, not knowing every single rule and minute change in their own game, like we said before, it just leads to a lack of trust. There's no good feelings towards the league office right now.
Yeah, and it shows too when you have the spider tack, but when you use different kinds of baseballs, when you have balls that can produce more offense somehow, some way, with how they wind the ball, it could possibly produce more offense than another ball. They essentially had two sets of balls, and they had one set that was different than the other set, and one set could produce apparently more offense if it was hit. I guess it might go further or something like that. And according to the report that we saw, this broke back a while ago, that kind of ball they would use in bigger games. So think of that. I will say right on the offset, I do not think any of those games that those balls were used in was tainted. But think about it for a second. The Field of Dreams game, If MLB wanted to influence that game, because it was the highest rated regular season game that they've had in a long time, using different kinds of balls in that game, that's shady shit, and the fans aren't going to trust you for it.
God, you need some consistency. I mean, go back to fourth grade fucking science class. You need controlled variables. There are some variables that have to be controlled throughout a season because it affects a guy's numbers. I mean, geez, if a guy's not popping a couple more in the first half of the season, and then all of a sudden they turn it off in the second half, or because the ball, the cork or the winding on the inside of the ball is a little tighter, or they didn't stretch the leather covering or something, that has major ramifications on the season. And then again, yeah, it just goes like, why would you not tell us that? Like, why? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get it. But, I guess it's the time when we just got to look at it and go, get your shit figured out. The fans are the ones who are getting alienated. Us diehards like you and I, Tyler, we're going to stay, but it's the people in the middle that you're going to need to bring back. It's going to be people this seems weird, and I don't want to seem like I'm just bragging that I have a girlfriend now. But you got to bring the people like my girlfriend, who they know one or two players on the team. They don't necessarily know a lot about the sport, but if they're offered tickets to go with their boyfriend, or maybe they want to go with their dad, or maybe they want to go with their friends, their girlfriends, or something like that, or they just want to go to a game. If they're offered the ability to go to a game, would they say yes? And in the current climate, I think a lot of people would be inclined to say no.
And again, that's also the person who knows who a Tom Brady is, right? They know who a LeBron is, of course. They know that, the Chiefs are out of the playoffs. They know that Tom Brady just retired. But they probably don't know a ton about what's going on in baseball right now.
I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know if someone in St. Louis that is a barely baseball fan knows who someone like Mike Trout is. Right. If I said Mike Trout, they'd be like, oh, did you just name a fish? And that's an indication of how baseball needs to change.
Mike Trout, I just caught some sea bass.
God damn!
When's the last time you had a good piece of fish?
I am a fish guy. I like salmon. I like shrimp. I like cod. I like fish sticks. What am I, a gay fish?
In your mouth?
I do like fish sticks in my mouth.
So, you're a gay fish. I know.
I am a gay fish!
You are a gay fish. Making love to other gay fish.
Did you see the South Park ads for that? Have you seen the ads for South Park for the new season?
No, I haven't seen any of the ads. I've seen the episode, but no, I haven't seen many of the ads though.
So the ads, they got a 30-piece orchestra to do some of the most famous songs from the show, oh, wow. And they got this awesome guy to do gay fish.
Making love to other gay fish.
And when I was watching it, and then I was like, huh, that's really cool. And then right after that episode was the South Park baseball episode where it's all the kids trying to lose.
Yeah.
And then Randy gets in the fight at Coors Field.
I thought this was America.
Oh my God. I gotta fight him. Takes his shirt off. What's up, bro? Sup, bro?
Oh, man. Oh, geez. When was the last time? Oh, Michael. We've probably covered this before. You don't like... I don't peg you as a sushi guy, but you don't like sushi, right?
I like California rolls.
Okay. Damn, I'm gonna go bash some sushi. But it's fine. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, dude, that's kind of the state of where negotiations are at right now, and our preference of fish. It's concerning. Again, dude, honestly, Michael, not super optimistic that we're gonna start on time. I'm really not optimistic that we're gonna start on time. That affects you going back to work. It has some ramifications on my future, maybe, possibly. And it just makes me sad. I want baseball back. It hasn't even really been a thought because I know it's just so kind of far from the realm of possibility with us starting on time. So that's unfortunate. Also, unfortunate, our next segment, because it sucks. It doesn't suck. It's one of our favorites. Michael, what the fuck?
What the fuck is this shit?
Yeah, man. This is really just kind of the Hall of Fame results.
Okay, hold on. Did we cover the I think this is one more thing with the lockout. Did we cover what's going on the MLB website with the players? Because this belongs to what the fuck is this shit. That could be what the fuck is this shit.
Yeah, I don't know if we did. If you follow baseball, you definitely know this by now. But amongst the lockout and the disagreements between the league and the Players Association, there are no player photos, stories, promotions, or anything regarding player names in terms of roster, articles, whatever, on MLB.com right now. If it's not former teams and former players or somebody in the hall or whatever, anything involving current players is not available on MLB.com right now. Oh man, I'm a kid who's 11. I just got into baseball. Wow, Fernando Tatis is so cool. I want to watch some of his highlights on MLB.com because where else am I gonna go besides social media platforms? Oh man, this Mike Trout guy, he sure is big. He does win a lot of MVP awards. Oh, I'd love to go check him out. You can't do that right now. And again, it just goes back to growing the game. That hurts. That does, no matter what way you look at it. And again, that might be the really exceptional part between these negotiations, if they were to happen for, I don't know, fucking Boeing or something versus MLB. There's the fan aspect, and it's important.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I am a total fan of the 747.
No, yeah, excellent plane, excellent piece of aeronautic machinery, but there's not a huge constituency of fans, and there's not the media coverage, right? If GM decides to cut half their labor force because they don't like making fucking Chevy Silverados anymore, I don't fucking know.
I want a Silverado.
Yeah, you are a big old American boy.
Get me the new Dodge Ram.
Dodge Ram. Shove it up your butt and call it Billy.
What? Hold on. Normally I go with jokes. I don't know where to go from there. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. Moving on. The Hall of Fame ballots. It happened. We told you who did make it, but it's probably, unfortunately for David Ortiz, more notable who didn't make it. So Poppy got in with 77% of the total vote, just barely makes it. And then guys who were on their last year, like Bonds and Clemens, they didn't make it in the Hall of Fame. Bonds fell short with 66% of the vote. Clemens received 65.2. A guy like Scott Rowland received 63.2. And then Kurt Schilling, somehow, even after his comments of not wanting to be in the Hall last year, he got 58.6% of the vote. So looking at how the steroid guys shaped the game of baseball and the legacy they've left, and looking at the guys, whether for character clause or cheating or PED use, who are in the Hall, and they are in the Hall. There are some scumbags in the Hall of Fame. It's a lack of consistency. It's a lack of regard for the greatest players to ever play the game. And look, there are a lot of guys who benefited from keeping guys out of the league. There are a lot of guys who benefited from the steroid era. There are a lot of guys who made a lot of money off of it in the Hall. Bud Selig's in the Hall of Fame.
I am so confused. John Morosi is a guy who said multiple times he is for a big Hall. He is for celebrating the game of baseball and putting in as many great players as you can. Why the hell are people so against that idea? I don't understand. You had dumbasses who submitted blank ballots and then were very very just snarky about their responses to people like, "Oh, you guys just don't understand. You guys just don't understand why none of these players." I get people say if you want to make it the Hall of really really good, then make it the Hall of really really good.
That's not
This is the Hall of. Yeah, these are the greatest players to ever play. And you know what? I think there will be controversy no matter what ballot you have. There is no perfect ballot. It makes no sense to me whatsoever why you would look at some of the players on this ballot and say no. And why you then get so angry and so snarky and so asshole-ish and slimy whenever people who are fans of the game that you write about criticize you. Because congratulations, you write about the game of baseball. You get to write about the game of baseball. That doesn't make you an expert on the game. There are plenty of writers out there who don't know a damn thing about professional baseball. Just because you write an article about the game doesn't mean that you know about the game. And the fans that got to watch this feel slighted. And there's nothing we can do to change that because it's their dumbasses that are the ones who are keeping it out. And you know what? That doesn't go for the 60% of people who voted for Bonds, Clemens. I'm not a big fan of Schilling at all. And I think the character aspect is a big thing that is going to keep him out. But you know what? As a player, he deserves to be in the Hall. It pains me to say it. I will never vote for him because there is that personal aspect, but I'm not going to vote for Schilling. But you got to respect how he played. That's one of those things.
It's insane to me to look at an entire era of baseball that was marked by steroids, but also marked by some of the greatest players we've ever seen. And really to act like that era didn't happen or these guys' legacies didn't exist. Again, if you go to museums to hopefully look at a slice of history and what cultural norms existed during that time and what was significant, and to go to a museum and a hall of plaques and a hall of the greatest and not see those guys there, it takes away from the authenticity of the experience that you're feeling. That it's tainted. I think it is. It's a tainted experience that omits parts of history, which is detrimental, whether it's baseball or American history. Baseball is American history. To omit that from the shrine to our great game it's another thing that's hurting the game, and it's stupid. I mean, like,
it's that too thing. I've heard the argument, don't reward cheating. Well, okay, then that's all right. We won't reward cheating. What about the cheaters that are already in? Yeah, what is an acceptable amount? Because of this idea of don't reward cheating in the Hall of Fame. Number one, did Barry Bonds ever actually test positive from the MLB? No. Barry Bonds was never suspended or tested positive under the MLB protocols at the time. Same with Clemens. Andy Pettitte, who I believe is a Hall of Famer, and I'm in a very small minority when I say that, was the guy who has been the most blatant about why he did it and how long he did it.
Absolutely.
And you know what? The man who holds the record for the most home runs in all of baseball is not in the Hall of Fame. One of the winningest pitchers in baseball history is not in the Hall of Fame. The man who bet on himself as a manager with the most hits in baseball history is not in the Hall of Fame. One of the most revered and loved people in the history of his era, from the White Sox, the Black Sox scandal, is not in the Hall of Fame. These people have been made examples of already. Enough is enough. It is the history of our game. It is our people. And you are in the minority is so small, but it's getting its way in keeping these guys out.
And And again, on that same note, and going back to Schilling, and mind you, Schilling is a weird example because a lot of the things he said are abhorrent, and he's not winning a lot of popularity. But Ty Cobb, a guy like Ty Cobb, is a Hall of Famer.
And you know what? Even if you try to discount what Ty Cobb said, and people say that the stories about Ty Cobb are overblown, the man was still a fucking racist and a raging one.
The stories might be overblown, but no, he was a scumbag. He was truly a scumbag. And yeah, dude, I hate a lot.
The best player
Schilling has said.
Yeah, the best player of the 1800s is Cap Anson, and he outright refused to play on the same field as a black man. And that guy is number one, regarded as the best player of his century. Not of his era, of his fucking century. And number two is in the Hall of Fame.
And Barry Bonds is anyone can make an argument that he's the best player to ever play this game, and it's a great argument to make.
It's a popularity contest, and there are a bunch of pompous writers who are still in there. Who guys like, and it also makes no sense because guys have no loyalty to their previous votes as well. A guy like Mark Saxon, I'm going to call him out. I don't understand why Mark Saxon, who has voted for Scott Rowland before, doesn't vote for Scott Rowland again. And he doesn't have a full, and there are guys who will vote for someone and then not vote for them again, and they won't vote for anyone that's a first-time ballot, and they won't do a full ballot. It pains me so much as a baseball fan, and it shows just such a disservice because it's trying to show that they are somehow better than everyone else because they get to write about the game of baseball. The fans are the ones who are there. Congratulations. You get to go and you get to go watch 162 games of baseball a year. You know what you're seeing and you're talking with these players in the locker room? That's one thing. And that's a popularity contest. With us as the fans, we are watching the product on the field. And what we see on the field is enough to tell us if these guys are Hall of Famers or not. And if baseball is truly for the fans, you need to reform the system so that way we can get our people in the Hall of Fame that we love. Is it populist? Fuck yeah, it's populist. But you know what? It's not affecting government. It's affecting the Hall of Fame where the game that we love is enshrined forever.
I think the Baseball Writers Association of America lacks a lot of integrity. And also the fact that if whether or not a guy was nice to you in the dugout or whatnot can affect your vote of who ends up in what should be a totally unbiased Hall of Fame, Hall of Baseball Fame, Hall of what these guys did when they were playing Fame sucks. And I hate even saying it, but I don't really take a ton of stock in the Hall of Fame anymore.
How the hell is Big Papi barely getting in?
Big Papi hits over 500 home runs and has multiple rings and has as illustrious of a career as you can have and is the greatest DH of all time, is barely getting in. And the greats of our game, who are, not without their flaws, but so is that era of the game, and they saved the game, and they are who people wanted to watch, and they are who sold out stadiums. They're not in the Hall, and that sucks. And I don't care about Hall of Fame voting anymore. This was the year. This was the big pivotal monumental year, and
I'm nervous, Tyler, about next year and the following couple years because there's a couple guys who I think we're going to have a couple years where we don't have winners. We don't have anyone in. I think we saw it last year. No one got in. I don't think we're going to have anyone in this year.
No. I was about 2023. I don't know. 2022,
Beltran?
Yeah. Right. And he's marred by the entire Astros scandal. Definitely one of the greatest to ever play the game.
A guy who is not going to get the respect either, K-Rod.
Absolutely. Yeah. A guy like Joe Nathan, he's off the ballot.
Yeah.
He's off the ballot.
Well, what about the guys like fucking Jim Edmonds? Jim Edmonds, Gold Glover, one of the best defensive center fielders of all time. He fucking didn't even make the threshold on his first ballot.
It's laughable. And what was the premier professional sports Hall of Fame in terms of notoriety and Cooperstown and all of it I don't think it holds a lot of weight anymore. And again, I'm a guy who watches a lot of baseball in St. Louis, and I don't really have any cachet in the sport, so who cares what I think? But I don't think it has a ton of weight. And I think the I don't know, maybe the power of the baseball writers needs to be checked. But yeah, it sucks. It's unfortunate. Michael, would you like to give your ballot? Because I respect your opinion on the game of baseball. Who would you have voted in this year?
I appreciate that, and I respect yours too. I'm a fan of a big haul. I love whenever I watch the NFL Hall of Fame induction ceremonies, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and you've got a ton of guys up there giving speeches. I love that, and I want to see that. And you know what? It sucks that we only have one guy from the baseball writers ballot, because with the committees, it has to be family. It's not, the guys themselves aren't, a lot of the time, they're not alive to come and give the speech. So that's what sucks. But for my ballot this year, my writer's ballot, right at the top, I had to go Scott Rowland. Easy choice for me. He's a definite Hall of Famer, one of the best third basemen of all time. I don't understand why it's taking so long, but I hope it's like a Trevor Hoffman situation where he will get in eventually. Then Andrew Jones, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Andy Pettitte, Todd Helton. And there's a couple names that I left off here that you're going to be like, what? But hear me out with the last couple names that I said. So Todd Helton, Prince Fielder, Ryan Howard, Jimmy Rollins, and David Ortiz. The names that I left off that you're probably going to be like, what the hell? A-Rod, Billy Wagner, Gary Sheffield. Now, Sheffield, I've always been kind of iffy on. I think I'll put Sheffield next year, probably for sure. It's just this year I wanted to give some love to Prince Fielder because I think his mark on the game, he owned the game of baseball when he was there. I think Jimmy Rollins is one of the most underrated players of all time at shortstop. And Ryan Howard defined an era for the Philadelphia Phillies. And I think that these guys on teams that, you know, maybe they won one World Series or something, they don't get the love that they deserve. So that's why I went with them. But next year, I probably am going to vote for Billy Wagner. Next year, I don't know what I'm going to do with Sheffield yet. I'll look at it, but I know I want to put Wagner on my ballot for sure. And then A-Rod's goes a little bit deeper than everybody else's. A-Rod's got a whole other set of problems, I think. But I still respect him. And, you know, if I put A-Rod on my ballot, I wouldn't be beating myself up over it. I just wanted to find a spot for Fielder and those guys. But I wanted to put down the guys I knew for sure I wanted in, with Bonds, Clemens, Pettitte, Rowland, Jones, Poppy, and then the others.
You know, Michael, I like your ballot a lot. A lot of the guys that you have that I don't, and like vice versa. It's an occasion where they might not be, you know, on my list this year, but next year for sure. I have a lot of locks. We share a lot of guys. My ballot kind of goes David Ortiz, actual Hall of Famer, Bonds, Clemens for sure, Rowland, absolutely. Todd Helton was amazing. Andy Pettitte was a beast. A-Rod, I do have A-Rod. Look, man, I don't think there's been a more controversial player in baseball, and that's including Pete Rose, Clemens, Bonds. A-Rod had a lot of issues and a lot of legal issues. I mean, like longest suspension of all time in baseball history. He was that good. His worst years were all-star years for any other player. Billy Wagner is a guy I like putting a reliever in, and he's one of the best of all time. Andrew Jones, I pick a guy like him over somebody like Ryan Howard, just because Andrew Jones did have. I like to look at a guy's peak, right? And he had an 11-year window where he was the shit, and not just in terms of center fielders, but in all of baseball. And then Gary Sheffield, he had. Geez, I think I had it pulled up. I mean, he had a good 10, 11-year window where he was putting up an OPS well north of 800. He had a couple, one, two, three, four, five 1 OPS seasons. I think he was an absolute monster, controversy aside. So he makes my Hall of Fame. And then, that was my list. But again, a guy like Ryan Howard, his peak was a bit shorter. He had a good 7-year window of being a beast. And a guy, it's hard to look at a guy who did win an MVP and say and still had a great career after that isn't a Hall of Famer. And again, I don't know that he's not. I don't think he's better than any of the other guys I mentioned, respectively, but still excellent.
I think if he doesn't have the Achilles injury, he's got it. He's in. And I think if Prince Fielder doesn't have the back injury, he's in.
Absolutely. And then again, you look at those and you look at Andrew Jones, who was really good for about a decade and then was not. You can make a similar thing to, how's that dissimilar from the other guys getting hurt and cutting their career short? I don't know, man. I'm a dummy boy. I don't have a great answer for that. But that's my list and I'm sticking by it.
I'm sticking by mine too. And that was our Hall of Fame ballots. That was What the Fuck Is This Shit? Tyler, so what do you want to do here?
Let's, do you want to end with you want to real quick rapid fire our top MLB free agents and then end with our baseball movie character draft?
Fuck yeah, let's go through this real quick. These might have changed since last time. I don't know. But these are the free agents going into the lockout. Notice how we don't have Verlander. That was another weird thing. But we'll talk about that in another episode, which I guess 84 will do a lot of catch up on all the other stuff that we missed from this episode that just happened in baseball before the lockout, our thoughts on all that good stuff. So, top free agent picks for these guys that are free agents still and won't be able to sign anywhere until the lockout is over.
Michael, getting us started, we have third baseman / outfielder, I guess, Chris Bryant, longtime Cub, was really damn good with the Giants. There are a lot of teams needing a third baseman. I mean, there's some third basemen that have retired. There are just some vacant positions. I think he is one of the guys who fits almost anywhere. But personally, with the very recent vacancy and a team that looks poised to do something, I think Seattle is a realistic destination.
Now with Seager retiring, I see it. I see it now. Seager retiring was kind of out of fucking left field, but yeah, I see it now. That's another one for congratulations, you did something. Kyle Seager retires. He had a great career. Wish he could have won something for Seattle. Kind of weird that he retired when he did, but I think Bryant is your answer. I think he'll end up there.
Beautiful. Mint. Taking a look at World Series champion Freddie Freeman.
Atlanta. I don't see him going anywhere else. I can't.
It would be so odd to see that man in any other jersey. And he's the guy. He's the franchise player. He's the guy. He's been the guy for a decade, I think. I think it's safe to say that he's going to end up with the Braves. Possibly the single biggest free agent left on the market. Certainly the guy who's probably going to demand the biggest dollar amount of the offseason. Carlos Correa. I mean, kind of shrouded in a bit of controversy with the whole Astros stuff, and he's a loud personality, but he's damn good in what is a pretty big shortstop market.
Didn't he just hire a new agent or something? Or did he Boris, right?
I believe he's with Boris now, which means he's going to demand a lot of money.
He's going to fucking the Yankees or something.
It's the Yankees, which again, personality wise, I don't know if it fits all that well, but money wise would work. I think it's probably the Yankees are going back to the Astros. And going back to the Stros is weird because I know he already refused at least one, if not two offers from them because he thought they were lowballing.
The Dodgers need a new shortstop, but there's no way in fuck. There's no way in hell. Hold on, let me look here.
I'm gonna go Astros.
You know what? I'll say it. Angels have a lot of money, and even though they got Trout on that big contract and all that, I say they might make a push for him.
Ooh, I don't hate it. You don't think they want to go grab a couple more arms?
Let's see. You've got Shohei, Syndergaard. You might. They're gonna assess. I think they'll assess. But I think you could. I think you could. I genuinely think you could. If you're an Angels fan, think that Carlos Correa might go over there. You got a big hole. You got Luis Rengifo at shortstop.
Cardinals legend.
He played for the Cardinals. What the fuck?
Didn't he? Renivo? Yeah. No.
He played against us when the Angels were in 2019.
Oh man, I thought he got traded for somebody. Never mind. I'm wrong. Wrong.
All right, who else we got? Castellan. Oh, Trevor.
Trevor Story. I think the Yankees will make a big splash, and I don't know if that's going to be through free agency or trade, but for the purpose of this, I think there's a chance he ends up in the Bronx. I would like it. I don't think the Coors effect is really something to worry about with a guy as athletic as Trevor Story. He's speedy, good defense, good bat. I would like to see him as a Yankee.
Oh, we'll blow it up. I think he's going to Houston.
Ooh,
He's going to replace.
They're going to get somebody.
Correa's going to leave. He'll go somewhere else. I don't think Houston's going to keep him. And then he'll go to Houston. And then Castellanos, I think he goes to Houston too.
Yeah, that one's tough. I mean, he is another one of those guys who could probably fit anywhere. I am inclined to agree with you on that one, though. I think Houston's a good fit for him. They got the money. They could always, benefit from another outfielder. They have a DH. Yeah, I don't hate that one. I'll give you that one, Big Frog.
Rodon, Carlos Rodon will go.
He's the prime. Could go fucking anywhere, guy. Literally anywhere.
Miami. I'll say it. He's going to Miami. Miami looks like they might try to do something. I'll say he's going to Miami.
Ooh. Bold.
Tyler, where'd you go?
I'm gone?
Yeah, your screen is just completely black.
Oh, my battery might have died. That's okay. We still have audio, and I have another battery. Michael,
I can stall.
Yes, stall. Pad for me.
All right, here we go. So, Rodon, I think, could go to Miami. They seem to be rebuilding a lot. Clayton Kershaw is the next guy on our list. I don't see him going anywhere else but staying in L.A. Kershaw seems like the kind of guy who would be loyal to that. Any idea that he would go to somewhere else kind of seems ridiculous to me. Conforto, I don't fucking know Conforto. Boston, why not? Go to Boston, Conforto. And you know what? Take Kyle Schwarber with you. Conforto in Boston, same with Schwarber. Kenley Jansen stays in L.A. Anthony Rizzo. Anthony Rizzo is a good one and an interesting one. Who needs a first baseman? No, not Tampa. Anthony Rizzo. He loves the Yankees. I think he really does love the Yankees, and I do not see him leaving I don't see him going back to Chicago unless they're good. It would be hilarious if Kansas City had a good team. It would be hilarious to see him with the Royals, but I don't think he will go there. So I'm inclined to say he'll stay in New York, but I don't like it. And then you also have Nelson Cruz, who, if we get a DH, Nelson Cruz is going to the Padres.
Nelson Cruz to the Padres. Ooh.
I think I can go through these next ones kind of quick. Nelson Cruz, I think, is going to the Padres if we have a DH. If not, some random American League team will take him. But I think there have been links to him in the Padres in the past if we had a DH. Kwang Young Kim is not staying in the United States. He'll go back to Korea. He's been here through the pandemic. I guarantee you that guy misses his family a lot. He's probably not going to stay here. Kwang Young Kim will go back home to Korea, which, you know what, good for him. He wants to be a family man. So I 100% am okay with him leaving to go back home. Jorge Soler and Eddie Rosario, I think, are going to be a package deal. I think you may see them with the White Sox. Soler with the home run hero for Atlanta, but I think you might see them go to the White Sox to kind of bolster their hitting core. And then Zach Greinke. Uh, you know what? If the Angels don't make a splash for Correa, I see the Angels going for Greinke.
Angels going for Greinke. I kind of like that one, and I definitely agree with it. On some of the ones that I missed, Rodon, he could really go anywhere. I'll say Dodgers. I think they want to bolster that rotation because I don't know what the hell they're going to do with Trevor Bauer. Did you hit on Kershaw? Yeah, you probably did.
I went through the whole list.
Kershaw probably going back to the Dodgers. Conforto, shit, anybody really needs an outfielder. I'll say Astros. Schwarber probably going back to the Red Sox. You know, he can. It's an easier left field to play for somebody who's not the strongest defensive outfielder. So I think it makes a lot of sense, and he hits well there. Kenley. Anybody could use a high leverage reliever. Probably back to the Dodgers, and then Rizzo. I think there's a good chance he does stay in the Bronx. He liked his time there. The Yankees are likely moving on from Luke Voigt, and if they don't trade for Matt Olson, it's probably Rizzo getting the nod. So I think he might stay in New York. Let's see, Nelson Cruz. I think he might be one of the guys the Rays spend money on to try to keep. Maybe he's staying in Tampa. Kim, I agree. I think he might just go back to Korea. If not, maybe the Padres. They are always in the business of adding arms. Soler to the White Sox, I like a lot. I've had a lot of outfielders get hurt lately, so I could see them wanting to bring in somebody like him. The Reds, while they might be tearing down, I don't think they're trying to get rid of literally everyone. So I could see Eddie Rosario head into Cincinnati, and then Greinke. Wow, I wrote Greinke in the Greinke slots. You said Angels. I don't hate that. Actually, I think that makes a lot of sense. And they need pitching. He's heading to Anaheim. If we get any of these right, we owe the other person a double bacon cheeseburger.
Ooh, I like that. Where from? Ooh, you know what? Not a double bacon cheeseburger. Something that is essentially the same but cheaper. A Baconator.
Oh, a Baconator. For everyone we get right, we're going to do a mukbang where we eat bacon.
Oh, no. Okay, we're going to turn into Kato Avocado.
Oh, no. Michael, we're trying to get skinny. We're trying to get skinny.
I have gained 3 pounds this year, and I'm so upset with myself.
Oh, man. Michael, I've lost 15.
I'm so proud of you. When did you start your journey?
Oh, probably not super healthy. Like, let's look at my Fitness Pal.
Has it been this year?
17 days ago.
You lost that much weight in 17 days?
Yeah, I do cardio and I don't really eat anymore. So.
Oh, you should at least eat.
No, I take like 800 calories a day.
My app won't let me log my day unless I have 1,200.
Oh.
Well. Anyway, Tyler, it's time for the draft.
Oh, man, it is. Oh, geez. It is time for our all-time baseball movie character draft. I am uber excited about this. Michael, I have a shiny coin right here, and I'm going to let you make the call, man. Heads or tails?
Is it just a normal quarter?
Yeah.
Heads.
Heads it is.
All right, I will receive.
Michael, with the first pick of the draft, rules are has to be a fictional character from a baseball movie or TV show that is acceptable. You need all the positions: DH, starting pitcher, relief pitcher, and a manager. You guys will get to vote on who has the better team after the fact. Michael, let's get it.
My first overall pick.
You are on the clock.
Will come from one of the greatest baseball movies of all time. And Tyler, I believe you and I, before we started the recording, were kind of confused as to what position he played.
Yeah.
I went to IMDb, and according to IMDb, he is a center fielder. Everywhere else says he's a shortstop. But Tyler, I can tell I chose your pick. As my center fielder in the first overall pick in this draft, I am going with Benny the Jet Rodriguez from The Sandlot.
Ugh, it's an excellent choice. You literally have to do it.
Tyler, you are on the clock for your first round pick.
Alrighty. With that massive one off the board, with my first overall pick, we're going to stay in the same movie. I'm going to take Mr. Ham Porter behind the dish as my catcher, Ham.
I respect.
Their catcher, in terms of movie catchers, it's actually stacked. But
it is.
It's really stacked. But this one hits close to home, and I'm very happy with my decision. I'll take Ham.
Well, for my second round pick, I will also go with catchers. And instead, I will go to a little movie with Mr. Tom Hanks in it. And the catcher in that one is played by Gina Davis. I'm going to go with Dottie Hinson from A League of Their Own, just barely beating out Crash Davis from Bull Durham.
Oh, man. Okay. He was actually in there as who I was going to take behind the plate, but I switched it up. It's an excellent choice.
Well, hold on. It depends. You could use him as a backup for another thing. You never know.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay.
Your second round pick, Tyler.
My second overall pick. Ooh, golly. I mean, I have a plan, but this one's hard any way you cut it.
I'm just going randomly across the board, so I had no plan. I just put them in order of the position, and I'm just kind of going down the list of who I want first.
I'm going to look to the outfield. For my center fielder, I will take Mr. Willie Mays Hayes from Major League.
That was my backup for center field.
I feel good about it. I got to get somebody with pop, with speed, and yeah, I feel good about that one. Michael, you're on the clock for your third pick.
We're going to go to the bullpen. Ooh. And in the bullpen, I think – actually, no, you know what? I'm going to let you have that one because I have an inventive other pick. I think we both know who we're going to choose for the bullpen. Clearly. But I have another one who I think I can make work in that bullpen. So instead of the bullpen, I will go to the mound, but for the starters. And the main character of the movie that got me to love baseball. And one of my favorite movies of all time, based on the true story, Dennis Quaid as Jim Morris in The Rookie.
That's a good. I like it. I don't hate it, Michael. I don't hate it, and it does free up some other spots for both of us. Okay. Ooh. I don't know if I need to take the one that I clearly need to take right now, or he'll be gone.
Do whatever you want, because I have another idea that I'm thinking of here too.
You know what, man? I need some boppers. I need some big boppers. Sticking in the outfield, Michael, with my number 3rd overall pick, I'm taking Roy Hobbs from The Natural. He's going to be my right fielder. I'm sticking with it.
You know what? I'll go to the outfield too for my next pick. I'll go to my left field this time. And I'm going to go from Mr. 3000, T-Rex Pennebaker from Mr. 3000. Real name Rex.
Oh, excellent choice. Excellent choice. Oh, what a bopper. Oh, man.
Big bops.
Okay. That's strong. That's a strong 4th pick. It's my 4th pick of the draft. Oh, man. I don't know if I want to lock up. Let's see. You know what? We'll stick with it. From Mr. 3000, first base, I will take Mr. Stan Ross.
I respect it. Now, here's what I've done. I've tried to choose picks from different movies, and I think by the end of this, I may end up having a guy from different movies. But I also chose a lot of guys who were real people. For my next pick, this guy is a real person. but in the movie, he was played by someone else. My right fielder is Roger Maris from 61.
I'll accept it. I like that.
But 61 has a little asterisk on it. And I have a couple of those. Just a fair warning. I do have a couple of those.
I accept it. That's a good pick. All right. All right.
Your sixth pick, Mr. Merkel.
I think this will be my fifth. Yes, my fifth.
Or your fifth, excuse me. My apologies.
Let's see. Let's take. Well, shit. My number one. What have I got? Shortstop, in demand position from the Saint. No. I'm gonna go with Mr. Tanner Boyle from Bad News Bears.
Interesting selection. He was my backup for that position.
See, I was gonna run Benny at short because I know in the majors he was playing center field.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna run him. He's hell of an athlete. Yeah, I again, not my number one, but I'm okay with it.
I will go for this next position. I've got my entire outfield. I've got my starter. I've got my catcher. I need a DH. I know for a fact I need a DH. And I had it between two guys. One of them who could play another position, but he could hit. And one guy who I don't even know what position he played, but he did get an inside the park home run in one of the most cringy animated baseball movies of all time. So I'm thinking either Yankee Irving from Everyone's Hero or my actual pick, Gus Matthews from Benchwarmers. My designated hitter, the Gus Bus.
Gus Matthews. Oh, lordy. Okay. All right.
One of my favorite fucking baseball movies of all time. I Am 12.
Oh,
I like salad. Reggie Jackson plays hot potato with them, and that's how they learned how to do quick hands.
Oh, that's a hell of a movie. Oh, all right. I gotta. All right. There are not a lot of options here at all, and I don't want to get stuck. Okay. Manning second base. I select Marla Hooch of A League of Their Own.
Ooh, interesting. Very interesting.
There's not second base is dry in terms of movie second baseman. There's not a ton of options. But
yeah. I think here I'm gonna have to break my own rule of trying to choose one person from a different movie, because who I want up the middle are two guys from the same movie, and they're a deadly double play pair. At second base, from Little Big League, I'm going to have to go with Mickey Scales.
Mickey Scales. Ooh, okay. I like that. All right. Let's see. I've worked on my lineup a little bit. Let's go pick up some arms and let's just do it. My relief pitcher. I'm taking Rick Vaughn, baby.
Of course.
I'm taking Rick Vaughn.
Wild Thing was my first choice, but I have two choices in the backup for that one. And I'll go with them now. So, for my relief pitchers, I have two choices, and they might not necessarily be as well known. I have Jake Bradford from Everybody Wants Some, which is a Richard Linklater film. Rookie pitcher out of high school playing college ball in Texas. And then from the short-lived series on Fox, Pitch, the first woman in the majors, Ginny Baker. And you know what? I'm going to have to go with Ginny Baker from Pitch as my reliever. She's a starter in the show, but, you know, she struggled. So I'm going to have to go with Ginny Baker for my reliever. I'll throw in the bullpen.
That's a good choice. That's a That's a deep cut.
That could be a deep, at the end of the game, that could be fucking hard as hell. Coming out of the bullpen, you got Ginny Baker, and then she's throwing to Dottie Henson.
Oh man, that's quite the battery. Fitting for today. Fitting for
Yeah, of course.
National Women in Sports Day. All right. Thinking reliever with his 8th overall pick. For my 8th overall pick, Michael Langston. Let's go ahead and try to round out this infield over at third base. I will take Mr. Ray Mitchell from Angels in the outfield.
I respect.
He was like one of the only guys not affected by the Angels. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because he's in the infield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel good about it. All right, I'll take it.
For my first baseman, I had 2 options, and they're both based off of real people. But one name came to mind right off the bat. I could have had Jackie Robinson, and he would have been my backup for second base as well, because Jackie could play second and first. But the guy who came to mind right off the bat was a guy who wasn't supposed to be there, couldn't play that position, but then over the course of the movie learned that position, and that's Scott Hatteberg from Moneyball.
Okay. I don't hate that. I mean, a huge part of that movie, huge part of the A's season. Okay.
Jackie was my backup, and I love Chadwick Boseman, but when we first talked about this, the first guy that came to mind was I got to put Scott Hatteberg at first base.
No, absolutely. No, it's an excellent choice. Let's go ahead. Oh man, let's go ahead and round out my outfield. I will take underrated baseball movie in my opinion. I'll take Bobby Rayburn of The Fan.
Respect. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Giants legend Bobby Rayburn. All right. Took him 9th overall. Okay, Michael. 10th pick.
I'm gonna need a manager now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need my manager, and this one is also gonna be based off a real person, in a movie where one of the stars played himself. Filmed in the 1940s, one of the greatest baseball movies of all time, The Pride of the Yankees. Babe Ruth played himself, but the manager in that one, I gotta go with Miller Huggins. World champion manager of the New York Yankees.
Respectable pick. Knowing the spots I need to fill, I don't know if I'm going to go to the manager. Michael, if I have it correct, you still need to fill short and third base, yeah?
This is correct. And I have my picks.
All right. Now it's up to a starting pitcher for me, and there are a lot of options. There are a lot of guys I can go with, a lot of guys that are really close to my heart, but of one of my favorite baseball movies of all time, I gotta go with Nuke LaLoosh.
Nuke!
Old Durham. My 10th overall pick. As soon as he gets the mentals figured out, man, beast.
Fuck yeah. And then what are the last 2 positions that you need to draft for now that you've got Nuke?
I need to grab my DH and I need a manager.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, for me, I will go with shortstop for this one. And I'm breaking my own rule. Like I said, I'm going back to Little Big League. And I'm grabbing the double pair pairing. I've got Mickey Scales already at second base. I'm going to do Pat Corning as my shortstop.
Ooh, that's okay. That's a nice little combo. Michael. All right, all that remains for you is third base. Michael, with my 11th overall pick, let's take somebody who's going to bring a sense of poise and rationality to this team. Actually, maybe not.
The sense of poise and rationality, I chime in. Haven't you people ever heard of?
Who's going to be chiming in, leading this team? None other than Jimmy Dugan, my manager of A League of Their Own. He's gonna be leading the boys and setting the lineups. Jimmy Dugan.
Fuck yeah.
There's no crying.
In baseball? You are a toy! You are a baseball player, Wilson!
Wilson! I'm the captain now. Wrong movie.
Wrong movies.
Michael, for your final pick, who's man in the hot corner?
My favorite baseball movie of all time. Well, one of my favorite. This movie I watched back in college, and when I watched it back in college, like watched it again, it almost made me cry because it personified my love of the game of baseball and how much I love and truly appreciate the beauty of America's game. This man was one of the ghosts. He wasn't Shoeless Joe, but he was on that team of the Black Sox. And his name is Buck Weaver. And Buck Weaver from Field of Dreams, the third baseman for the Chicago Black Sox, one of the ghosts. That is my pick. And by the way, if I had to pick a home stadium for this team to play in from a movie or TV show, they're playing in Dyersville. They're playing in Iowa.
I considered doing stadiums, but we
most of them were in real, actual stadiums.
Yeah, I would have taken the Sandlot.
Fuck yeah!
But I'm a basic.
Here, we can do it. We can do that. So you take the Sandlot, I take Dyersville.
Okay, I'll take it. I like it. I like that.
Yeah.
Michael, with my final pick at DH, let's hope the guy's only throwing fastballs. I'll take Pedro Serrano.
As soon as you said that, I was like, he's choosing him.
Absolutely, man.
Well, Jimmy Morris is known for fucking throwing fastballs. That's what got him his tryout and all that shit and got him in the minors. So you might have success against him. Who knows?
That's why I think it'll be okay. Look, I think it's pretty clear that I have a starting nine that would wipe years off the field.
I don't fucking know about that, all right? Gus Matthews alone kicked all the ass.
You got a couple kids back. I mean, man, I don't know.
Got Ben. Dude, I have Roger Maris, okay? And fucking Scott Hatteberg, who will wipe the floor with you.
I wholeheartedly disagree. Ham hits dingers.
Dottie could truck Ham, okay?
Look, Ham deletes baseballs. All right. If you plan on getting that ball back, you're not. Willie Mays Hayes is wicked fast. I mean, Stan Ross, one hell of a baseball player.
I got 4 words for you: Benny the Jet Rodriguez.
Look, we got enough pop in our lineup. I don't care what base you're trying to steal. It's not going to matter if I'm up by 10.
Bitch, we're stealing home 10, 11, 12 times, mate.
Look, Nuke's throwing gas down your throat. Wild Thing closing the door.
Well, we're playing in the Sandlot, right?
Yeah.
If I'm playing you, I'm in the Sandlot. Gus Matthews doesn't need shit for that. Same with Scott Hatteberg. Like, you're going to get owned. If we're playing in Dyersville, you're done, buddy. My team's built for Dyersville. Own it. Respect it. I'll beat you at your place and at mine.
I believe in my heart of hearts that we're gonna 10-run you. You're getting mercy ruled.
This game's gonna be 15 after 3. All right, I'm gonna beat you 15-0 after 3. We're gonna call it early so the umps can go home.
Buddy, if you think you're getting a hit off of mentally sound Nuke Lelouch, you're silly, you're dumb, and you're stupid. You're getting clapped.
If you think Jimmy Baker's going down without a fight, you're fucking crazy, bud. Why does it sound like we're doing Canadian ice hockey insults?
Oh, I don't know what you're doing there, bud.
Bud, you're about to get your fucking ass kicked is what you're about to do.
Yeah, I don't know how we devolved into Canada land. Michael, that was fun. That was kind of fun. We'll let the fans decide with all this new content we'll be putting up. So you decide who has the better team. It's me.
It's Michael!
Nope. We'll post some graphics up. You guys can decide. want to thank you for sitting down with us today on episode 83 of the Squeeze Baseball Podcast. That's going to wrap it up for our first one back in a while. Make sure to check us out on all the platforms we are on, that being Instagram. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're in some other places. We appreciate your support listening to the show. If you're a new listener stumbling upon us out of one of the thousands of baseball podcasts out there, or if you're a return listener, if you're a friend, a foe even.
If you're a foe, fuck you.
No. We turn the other cheek.
My ass cheek, so that way I get a better view of them with my butt before I fart on them.
Ooh. Freezing cold take there. No, man.
Well, duh, it's fucking cold outside.
It's cold as hell, Michael, and Michael's got a thick ass.
I got an ass that won't quit.
Double cheeked up on Wednesday. I just want to let the listeners of the Squeeze know, man. I'm real proud of Michael. He's making moves in the world. He's looking good, feeling good. Should have been in Hollywood. And
hi, Angela. She's not going to listen to the podcast.
No, I would imagine so. But yeah, I'm very happy for you, man. You guys are super cute together.
Yeah, I know, right? She does all the cuteness for us.
Oh, yeah.
I just kind of stand there. She's all the cuteness, and I just kind of stand there.
Yeah, she provides that. Michael provides the flatulence jokes, which is how a relationship balances out.
Yes.
So, tune in next week for the next episode of the Squeeze Relationship Podcast, where we single-handedly help you ruin your love life.
I've been with Angela now. It's a month and a half, and I'm still nervous that I'm going to say one too many poop jokes.
Oh, you probably will. I mean, it's bound to happen, but it's okay. We still love you. Michael, it was legitimately a joy getting to sit down with you for the first time in a while. Wish it was in person, but that's okay. I mean it when I say we have really exciting things coming, and I'm excited to get back to doing what I love. And we will see you next time, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.